Okay guys, I'm gonna show you how I make my salmon. The dogs are barking at somebody outside. So I buy my salmon at Whole Foods. I don't buy wild caught. It's very expensive and I didn't feel like it tasted any better. I buy the sensibly farmed, they say, salmon. I used to buy the cut pieces in 5 ounces, but then found out that if I buy the big pieces, it's a lot cheaper per pound, and I just cut them myself. So I buy a big piece of salmon. I just get a towel to wipe my hands after I touch the fish. And what I find is that you need a very sharp knife to cut it with. I find that since I know what the size is from buying the 5 ounces, I'm pretty good at eyeing it, and you'll get good at eyeing it. And I just take the sharp knife and I cut it. I usually buy 2 big pieces because I give my mom some as well. And I just kind of got the feel now of what the 5 ounce sizes are. So it saves money. And I also am very particular. I tell them which pieces I want. We'll set this aside and I'll cut the other piece, which is a little bit bigger, just to show you. And I'll cut it into 5 ounce pieces. And then if you don't have the right knife, it is kind of hard to cut it because of the scales and the skin. I leave the skin on because it's got a lot of good stuff, nutrients in the skin. And I just like when it gets crispy when it cooks in the oven. And there you go. So I just cut it. Then what I do is I'm gonna place it on a baking sheet. I'm gonna spray it with some olive oil spray, and I'm gonna season it with sea salt and garlic powder, and then put some fresh dill. So I'm gonna turn the camera off, I'm gonna get all the rest of the ingredients, and then I'm gonna show you just how I put it all together before I put it in the oven, and I cook it at 400 degrees for 24 to 26 minutes. So 24 if it's a little soft, and if you like it a little more well done, I would say more like 26 minutes at 400 degrees. So I'll be back in 1 minute and show you how I put it all together. Okay guys, I cut the salmon, it's all cut as you saw before, and I'm ready to put it on the baking sheet. So again, just like the Brussels sprouts in my last video, I just spray the bottom of the pan so the salmon doesn't stick to it and fall apart with some extra virgin olive oil spray. And then I'm just gonna lay the salmon out on the pan. See, how many pieces do I have here? I've got 7 pieces. I give my mom like 3 or 4 every week. And then I eat the rest. I love making salmon burgers with the leftover salmon, having cold salmon salad, putting it on wasa toast. I'm just gonna get something to wipe my hands. Putting it on wasa toast, putting it in an omelet. So many things you can do with it, it's just amazing. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna season it with sea salt and garlic powder, just like the Brussels sprouts. That's all it really needs. Some sea salt just on top, some garlic powder. And then I'm gonna take some fresh dill. I love fresh dill. It also garnishes it, makes it look pretty. And what I do is, you'll see, is I go down the center with all these sprigs of dill, so there's a solid line down the pieces of salmon with the dill, and it just looks beautiful and it adds a nice flavor to it. And I'm only gonna do a couple in the interest of time, but it's really good. And I saw Martha Stewart make salmon, and she made a huge piece. But if I have a dinner party, I make a big, huge piece, and it looks very dramatic, and I put tons of the dill on top. But Martha Stewart said, "Oh, I have some dill from my garden," and it was like this huge thing, and the dill was like this long, and I was like, "Oh my God, I've never even seen dill like that anywhere." And that's what I was like, yeah, like we all just have dill in our garden that we can pull out. But that's where I got the idea to do the salmon years ago with the dill. But she put like a big, huge piece over the top. But I like doing it down the center. It kind of makes it look beautiful. And I just strategically place it. I just show you what one looks like. And that's what I do. And it looks really, really good. So I don't want to use up all the time by showing you how I put the dill on each one. You know how to do that. And then I put it in the oven for 24 to 25 minutes because I like it like really on the not so well done side. But some people feel like it's too underdone, too sushi-like for them. They don't like it that moist and wet. They like it a little more cooked. Then you want to do about 25 to 26. If you like it really well done, 26, 27 minutes at 400 degrees. Now what I do some of the times, if I can time it right now, I don't know if I will because I've been talking to you guys, but what I do is I watch the timer. If the Brussels sprouts were in for 30 minutes, if I can get this prepped at the 24-minute mark, I'm using Amazon Alexa to do the timer, then if I can get this in at the the 24-minute mark, then I could just pop this in the oven. They'll both be ready at the same time. But sometimes I get distracted or I can't make that in time. Anyway, just an idea. I'll turn the camera back on when it comes out of the oven and show you a technique I learned from great chefs to make sure that it really tastes great coming out and stays moist, where you squeeze fresh lemon juice on top and then I spray extra virgin olive oil on top to keep it moist, because a lot of the great chefs say as soon as any kind of meat or seafood comes out of the oven and immediately starts drying out, but they pour a whole bunch of olive oil all over it and that like seals in the moisture. But I don't want to do that because it's all that calories. So I just do a couple little sprays, which is no calories. But first I spray it with lemon to give it a lemony taste, and then I seal it all in with some sprays of extra virgin olive oil. So when it comes out of the oven, I'll show you just how I do that, and we'll be done. Okay guys, the timer just went off on the salmon. I'm gonna take it out of the oven and I'll show you what it looks like and how I finish it all up. Look how beautiful, it looks great. Just gonna close the oven door. And as soon as I take it out of the oven, I take an organic lemon and I just squeeze 1/2 on half of it. Then I'll take the other one. Oh, I missed putting dill on that little piece there. That was not on purpose. And then I'm going to squeeze the other half on the remaining 3 pieces. Okay. And then the last thing I do, I talked about this, I saw a lot of different great chefs talk about this or do it on YouTube videos, is they actually pour olive oil on meats and fish, but they're particularly on salmon. Jamie Oliver was doing it, and I couldn't believe how much, he was like, la 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 la. I'm thinking, oh my, well, I think about calories, so all I kept thinking about was, oh my God, that's like 700 calories probably all over all that fish. So, and it would be spread out amongst these 7, but still, it's a lot of extra unnecessary calories. But the chefs say that the sealing it with the olive oil, pouring the olive oil, spraying like I do, seals in the moisture, because any fish or meat, they say when it comes out of the oven, starts drying out. So you're locking in that freshness. Now, I've kept this up to a week in the refrigerator. I microwave it for 1 minute in their microwave oven to heat it up. I very rarely eat it right when I make it, like tonight I'm going to have this for dinner with the Brussels sprouts I just made. And, but when I heat it up, if I want to reheat it, sometimes I eat it cold in a salad or on some toast or on a Wassa cracker. I heat it up. If I want to heat it up like for an entree on a bed of something or surrounded by vegetables, I will put it in the microwave for 1 minute on high, cover it with a napkin, a paper towel, because sometimes it explodes. And let me tell you, it makes a friggin' mess when it explodes. But anyway, that's how to make it. That's how to use it all week long. Hope you enjoyed the video.